Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. I had to push the button like 3 times. I don't know what was happening there. Hi, everybody. Hi. So, thank you for joining me tonight. This is Michelle Solis, and I am coming to you live from Seekonk, Massachusetts. I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and tonight is October 25th, Friday, and we are here to do a Stampin' Sip live. So we are going to be using the Decorative Trees dies tonight, but we're not going to be using them the usual way. We're going to use them as a mask, actually. So let's get this up here. There we go. So this is what we're going to be creating. We're going to be doing this technique. I used the die here as a mask to make this blended background and then created my little sentiment. And then I did the same thing with this one. And I used, oh gosh, I cannot remember the name of the color now. Okay, hang on. Oh my goodness. It's not Shy Shamrock. Oh, Summer Splash. Good grief. Summer Splash and Petal Pink were the two colors that I used here. Wow, that just went right out of my brain. Okay, so these are the two cards that we're going to do, but we are going to do them in a different color tonight, so you can see another color combination. Okay, but before we get started with that, let's cheers. Cheers to making it through another week, and looking forward to the weekend. Cheers, everybody. All right, I'm finishing up my bottle of La Crescent Spritz that I got at Thousand Islands Winery in Alexandria Bay, New York. That was a nice trip I took with my daughter, and we picked up some wine along the way. Could be better than that. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do these two color combos. We're going to do Night of Navy and Boho Blue. So I've got two card pieces. This one is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Hey, Courtney, how you doing? And then this one, I've got a tent style, and this one is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. So those are our two card pieces, and we'll just set those aside for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on this little piece. This is where the focal point will be created. And this little piece, if I can remember correctly, is, I think, 3 1/4. 3 1/4 by 4.5. Yeah. Okay. So that's the focal point piece that I'm using. 3 1/4 by 4.5. All right. So let's talk about these dies. Hey, Lorraine. Okay, when you get these dies, these are the Decorative Trees dies, and they come with all these lovely trees. Look at them all. All right, so you'll notice that some of them have a lot more heft to them than others. So you're going to have this one with the little plaid. That one has a lot of cutouts, but it's still pretty rigid, so would make a good mask. Then you've got this one with all the little dots. That cuts out all these little circles throughout the die. And that's one, again, it's got a nice, good firmness to it. So that would make a good mask as well. There are a couple of others, like this one, that once this gets cut out, it's very delicate. Let me see if I have this one cut out. I have it mounted to a background. So you can see this one's got a lot of little cutouts and a lot of little really itty bitty pieces. And that, unless you're very, very careful, you're probably going to destroy by using your blending brush. Maybe with a sponge dauber, you could do that, but I didn't choose this one for a mask because it was just too delicate. So so there's a couple that are too delicate. That one with the snowflake, this one, and this one with the holly, I think is just a little bit too delicate to be used as a mask. The last one that I cut out, which was new tonight, is this one. And it's got all these little horizontal lines. I popped out some of those pieces, but then I left some in there as well. So I'm not sure if that's going to work while I'm blending. We're going to find out. We'll see what happens. Okay, so you also get a bunch of little decorations to put on your tree, some ornaments, some bows. These two little pieces create bases for your trees. You've got a star, you've got a little bow, and this is like a little garland that will go on your tree. So I really love these dies. I've used them a number of different ways. And tonight we're going to use them as masks. Okay, so blending brushes. What you're going to need is a blending brush. I'm going to use two colors tonight. So I'm going to use boho blue and night of navy. So we'll start with the boho blue. Okay. And the boho blue, the mat that I created was with this snowflake embossing folder. It's called the Snowflake 3D embossing folder. And it creates this really pretty like snowflake background. So hard to see when you're doing it live. And because this is a snowflake background, I thought we would use this little tree tonight for that. So we're going to put this one right in the middle of my focal point mat here. And this is just basic white. And I'm going to use boho blue. Is that what I want to do? Yes, that's what I want to do. Okay. To remember what I was doing here. Okay. So because I can't really tape this down, hi, Joanne. I'm going to have to hold it. So that's the only trick here is that you're going to have to hold this piece very carefully while you are blending. And so it made it a little difficult to pick up my ink. So what I did was just tap my brush on my ink pad, and then I started on the die cut and then went out from there. I want to just get this little shadow around the die cut. And I want to get all the little dots. So we're going to just start in the middle and kind of drag it out to get a nice outline around the outside of this die. But we also want to make sure that we get all the little polka dots. I love polka dots. You just want to hold it down nice and tight as you're going around so that you don't move it. However, if you do move it, you should be able to line it back up because you'll see the imprint of it. And when I take that off, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Oops. Oh, so there we go. You should be able to line it back up because you've got your shadow there. All right, so this is the boho. And then you can do a little bit more to the outside if you want. You don't want your paper to be such a stark white. You can kind of bring that color out a little bit into the corners. Okay. So then this is what you're going to get. You're going to get the impression of that little tree with the dots. So cute. Okay. So that's the one with the boho. Now we're going to do Night of Navy. And because I'm going to go back to the boho, I think, to do this last tree, I'm going to use a different blending brush. Normally, if I was just doing two, I would do the lighter color first and then switch to the darker color. And I wouldn't have to really clean my brush in between. Okay, so we're going to now switch to another piece, 3¼ by 4½. And we're going to do this little tree in the Night of Navy. Another one of my favorite colors. I think a lot of people are a big fan of Night of Navy. It's always been a good one. I don't know what we'll ever do if they get rid of it. Oh, I just bent my piece. All right, so I'm just going to try to bend that back a bit so that it'll lay down flat. But I think I've got enough color up there. Let's just switch over. And the challenge is just holding it down. Let's go on this side. I can see I've got a really dark spot there in the middle, but I'm just going to work with it and just get a little bit more darkness down here. I do have to put a sentiment and a bow on, so we can maybe cover up a little bit of that dark spot. That's not too bad. Once you take the mask off, it doesn't look quite as bad in the middle there. So there's the one with the Night of Navy. And here's the boho blue. Both pretty. All right, so we're going to try, because I haven't tried this one yet. Let's try this one. It does seem a lot more delicate than the other ones. Well, we'll give it a shot. Let's see what happens. All right, I'm going to go back to boho blue on this one. All right, I do feel like I have to be really careful with this one. Let's see what happens. So it just doesn't have as much, it's not as firm as the other ones are. It's making me nervous. All right, let's see here. Well, we're starting to get some impression there. Oops, I moved it. Line it back up. A little worried about this top part because that other top part got bent. Well, let's just go out and go up. Do like an upward motion here. Yeah. I'm not liking this one as much because it's just too fiddly. my word for when things are too, take too much effort. Too fiddly. All right, let's see. I might have to turn this to do the other side. It's coming out pretty. Oh, and for some reason I got a blip there with my blending brush. All right, let's see what it looks like. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. It did take a lot more effort, but it actually looks pretty nice. I like it. Okay. So that's the 3 that I chose tonight to do. Of course, you can choose any you'd like and experiment with them. I think that came out pretty good. Okay, so there's our 3 images. Now, of course, you remember that when you get done, you're going to have 3 really pretty little trees that are a blended color as well. So you could make another card with your 3 little trees as well. So don't get rid of those. Okay, so let's put our card together. So we've got the Night of Navy background with the boho blue mat, and this one I used the snowflakes on, as I said. So we'll get that mounted to the card base. Okay, and then we're going to use this one with the little dots, and we're going to pretend they're snowflakes. So we'll get that one on there. And I'm just mounting that with glue, both those pieces. Okay, so this one I was going to do, since I did the mat in the boho blue, I was going to do the sentiment in Night of Navy. Of course, I don't have another piece of paper. One thing. There we go. Okay, so the Night of Navy, what I had done in these cards is I had stamped the same color onto that color paper. So I used petal pink here, petal pink ink, and petal pink paper, but that will not work with Night of Navy. So we're going to use, we're going to do some embossing. Oh boy. So we're going to use white embossing tonight. And we're going to use the sentiment from our reindeer fun set because I want to do Merry Christmas. So that's the set I chose, and I just wanted it to be a nice, simple sentiment. So we'll use our embossing buddy. I don't know where anything is. Okay, here we go. Here's my sentiment. And we'll get our Merry Christmas in here. Oh, this is big enough. Oh, we're going to have, oh my goodness. 1 second. Okay, here we go. That'll work. Okay, and we're going to do it in white. Okay. And of course we have some stray embossing powder here. And I just use a little brush to get the excess off. Oh, that looks pretty good. Move that out of the way. And we'll get our heat gun. Can you hear things falling over now? Oh. Okay, so we just need to heat this up and melt that embossing paste and get this a Merry Christmas sentiment. And then we can cut that down. Let's see. Okay, and on these other cards, I cut my sentiment in half. So I've got Merry on top and Christmas on the bottom. So what I did was just take my snips and cut it right in half. So I've got two parts there. Okay, now where did I get this really cute little silver ribbon? There is some silver ribbon on the website. I don't remember what it's called, but this twine, I had none. So I realized I had this twine, which is called threaded twine, and it's got some silver that runs through here. Can you see that? Maybe not. Oh, yeah. So it's got a silver filament that runs through there. So what I did was I took a piece of this. We'll just cut it. I'm not sure if that was long enough, but what I did was I used my take your pick tool. If I can find that. And I pulled apart the end here. And once you pull apart the end, you can see this silver thread that's woven through there. Maybe. You should be able to grab it. There we go. Okay. It has a bunch of little threads that are together. So you want to just grab those. And if you pull, it's going to come right out of there. So you get this really pretty, it's like a bunch of different fibers. There's like 4 or 5 fibers there. And you get this pretty little silver piece. So what I then did was somehow made a bow. All right, so I'm just going to try again. It's hard because there's a lot of threads. You have to try to grab and get through there. Okay, so you just make this crazy bow with all these little silver pieces. And that's going to go here. And our little sentiment is going to go on top of it. So what I did was I got a little glue dot. This is actually a paper pumpkin glue dot. And just stuck that down so I didn't lose track of it. And then we're going to just put some dimensionals on the back of our sentiment. And get that on there. It's Christmas. And then we've got Merry. So there you go. Where there's a will, there's a way. If I needed silver, and I made some silver. So we've got this cute little bow. This little thing is too long here. Let's snip that off. And there's your card. Super cute. All right, so let's just do the other one real quick. Now that I've got a mess going on here. All right, so then we've got this boho blue card base. And I did the background for this tree, because it's this plaid, I embossed this Night of Navy background with the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. So that's going to work for this one. So we'll get that mounted. Oops. Hopefully straight. There we go. And we'll get our tree. I love this color combo. Boho and Night of Navy. What could be better? Okay, so then again, we need to make our sentiment. And did I bring a piece of boho blue? Why would I do that? All right, wait a minute. I must have a smaller piece. Of course I do. I keep all my little scraps inside my pack of paper. So when I need a small piece to stamp on, I've got one. All right, so we're going to do it this time with boho blue on boho blue paper. Pretty straight. And then just trim this down. And again, we'll cut that in half. So if your sentiment doesn't fit where you want it to fit, remember, you can cut the words apart and you can space them out around your card to make them fit. Okay, so we just need to make one more bow. And what am I going to do with this? So this is going to be really fun. When I take this apart, all of these pieces will come out separately. So you've got some nice linen twine. I will never run out of linen twine. Or I think this would be really pretty on like a beach card. I think that would be cool. All right, so we just need one more bow piece. Cut this. I wonder if I'm ever going to use it the way it was actually intended. I don't know. And let's get this silver piece out of here. There we go. And then we just have to make a bow again. There we go. Oh boy, I lost the ends. There we go. Ooh, it's very, very frilly and delicate. Okay. That's going to be a much smaller bow. That's all right. We're going to make it work. Where's my take your pick tool? Okay, I'm going to get another little glue dot and I'm going to move it up so my sentiment will cover up that dark spot there. So let's put that here. And we may just have to space these out a little bit differently. Let's see. And then the Mary. Losing some of our bow here. That's okay. We just really want it to be sparkly. There we go. What do you think? Cute? I think it's pretty cute. Okay, so then we just need to put some embellishments on here. The snowflake one, oh, I got a dimensional back in there. The snowflake one I had used on this one, these little tiny snowflakes, which I didn't think I was going to order, but then I changed my mind. So these are the white loose snowflakes. And I'll tell you right now, the problem with these are they're loose, but they're really pretty for shaker cards. But boy, be careful when you open them because there's like a million of them in there. So what you want to do is use your take your pick tool and pick out the ones that you want. So we've got a big one. There's some big ones. There's some little ones. I can't even see the little ones. They're so little. Hang on. Here we go. There's one. And oh, there's one. And then maybe we'll put one more big one down here. Okay. So I wish it was that easy that they were just stuck right there when you put them there, but they're not. So we have to use some glue. So again, I'm going to just use my take your pick tool and I'm going to pick it up, put a little dot of glue, and then put it back down. And you just want to give it a second so it'll glue itself down. And let's do the same thing here. They are a little fiddly, but I think they're worth it. If I were writing a suggestion to them, I would say we just always need adhesive back snowflakes every year. Should be no arguing about that. We always need, adhesive back snowflakes. Is that one upside down? Oh, one moment. I glued both sides of it. That's not going to work. Back to the drawing board. One more. Okay. And you're all going, nope, not buying those. I don't blame you, honestly. But they are so cute in a shaker card. Oh. Okay, just let it dry. Let it dry. While we're letting that dry, I'm going to go over here and torture myself just a smidge longer. I'm going to use some of these little dots that I made with my basic metallic enamel effects. This was silver, and so I'm going to use those on this card. Now these, again, are not going to have any adhesive, so we're going to have to use glue, but we're going to do the same thing that we did with the snowflakes. We're going to pick them up and put them right down on top of the little glue dot. So I created these by just making dots on my silicone mat and letting them dry overnight. And then I had some little silver dots to use on my cards. It's stuck to my finger. There we go. And one last one. Nope, stuck to my finger again. Well, maybe you wouldn't have as fat fingers as I do. There we go. There we go. Okay, so here they are stuck. There's our little snowflakes. And then who doesn't have a silicone mat? Courtney. Oh my goodness. And then this is the one with our little dots. Okay, well, Courtney, we're going to have to do something about that. You definitely need a silicone mat for all kinds of things. You need it just for glue, first of all, and then you need it for all kinds of techniques, like the shadow technique. You can't do the mirror image or the shadow technique without that. Okay, so that's it for us tonight. There we go. We've got those two, and we've got the pink and green because I was channeling my sister who loves pink and green, and she does a pink and green Christmas. So those might be for her. Okay, let's see where we are. Exit there, go over here. Okay, so that's it for me tonight, guys. I did want to remind you really quick, we are coming down to the end of the month. So that means that the joining deal will be going away. So right now you can join for $99 and you get $155 worth of merchandise plus free shipping. So if you have ever been considering, crafting with a discount, that's the way to do it. Become a demonstrator, and then you get a 20% discount on anything that you order when you first join. And if you move up in levels, your discount can go up to as high as 25%. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. I would love for you to join my Crafty Kraken team. And the kit sale is ending. So right now it's up to 30% off all kits. If you haven't checked out the kits, you really should, because there are some great kits available for really good prices, at some as low as $9. And then the last thing I did want to bring to your attention is the November paper pumpkin. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's coming with these little, what looks like canvas Christmas stockings, which I am 99% sure you're going to be able to stamp on. When I get my kit, I will let you know. But I think you should look into that because I think they're going to be super cute. You're going to get stockings and tags, I believe. Okay. Thanks, Joanne. I hope you guys try this little technique. Now, I did it with the tree dies, but you can go through your dies and figure out what you've got that would make a nice imprint and stick it on a piece of paper and use your blending brush to make a design with a mask. All right, if you do try the technique, make sure that you post it. You can post it to my Crafty Kraken page. And I guess that's it for me. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully the wonderful weather will stay wonderful. Enjoy yourselves and stay crafty, my friends. See you next week.